Hi friends, Sarah here at This Simple Life, and today I'm going to be sharing with you all of the curriculum that we used for the 2022-2023 school year, what worked, what didn't work. If you've seen my new curriculum haul, go check that out and you will see what we are all changing in the new school year. This year was I will say, I'm going to start off by saying a disclaimer. This year was a pretty challenging year. I think I went into it thinking like, I am not qualified to teach high school, and my oldest had a few struggles. My younger two had a few struggles. My youngest, I have three kids. They were in ninth grade, fourth grade, and third grade this year. And it went really good. We had a lot of life circumstances come up. We had several friends pass away that were very close to. One was my kid's Sunday school teacher at church. Two of them were my husband's grandparents, and so it was a very challenging year. On top of that, it was my very first year teaching high school, and of course you hear about all of the homeschoolers like, well, are you qualified to teach high school? Like, well, I graduated from high school and I have done some college, but as far as like having a degree teaching at a public private school, I have not done. But as the year progressed, I really realized this is no different than eighth grade. We're just continuing on and we're going to do this. And we got more and more confident. We all got more confident in the homeschool process. And I'm not a new homeschooler. I've been homeschooling since my eldest was in second grade. But I don't know what it was about just when you hit that junior high and high school years, and then on top of it, if your kids have any struggles, which I've already okayed this with my oldest. He is okay if I share some of the struggles that he went through. Some of them had to do with math. So maybe you see all the other videos of people where their children do not seem to struggle in math. Maybe they do struggle with some things, and maybe the parents just don't share. And this is going to be a video that if your kids have struggled or if they end up struggling in a subject, it's okay. Like, you will get through it. And if you've already seen my curriculum haul, you know why we chose the math that we chose, and I will go more in depth in that when I share my 10th grade curriculum video. So without further ado, we are just going to jump into this. It's a lot of curriculum, some of which we got through and some of which we did not get through. And I wanted to say one more thing. When we hit on history, I've had a few messages about did I like our Star Spangled Story from Knotgrass, and the answer is yes. I loved it. It will not be in this video because we did not do that history this year, because when my son started high school, I knew I wanted to go a different direction, and for his last 4 years of high school, for the last two all, and really go through like all of the different time periods in history. So I found one that we're going to stick with through the remaining time in for history for high school. And I will more than likely use it for my younger two when they get to be that age. I have learned a ton from it as well. I have learned a ton. But as far as Knotgrass, my younger two, we all did that as a group. I think when my oldest was in eighth grade, and so my younger two were a bit young, quite a bit younger than that, maybe like second, third at that time, and it went good. But the problem with my younger two is my oldest does really, really well with the literature-based, really thick literature-based curriculum, a lot of reading. My younger two are not right now. They're just not there. They need stuff to be a little more fun. So while they enjoyed doing the Knotgrass history, it just didn't really work for them. So I went a different way for them this year. And now then you will see that I will be using the good and the beautiful, their 4 years of history, for my younger two for the next 4 years. And it comes with audio, the kids talking, or some people talking, like a little play on audio, and it's gonna be so much fun. And I know my kids will love it, even though it will be reading. My younger two love to hear me read, but I don't really feel like they grasp as much history if I'm just solely reading, and then them do a worksheet. I just don't think that works as good for them. But my oldest, that's really how he works the best. And so when I said that I might do the history that I'm doing with my oldest, for my younger two, when they get into high school, I want to do that, but I might have to change gears and do something else based on how they learn best. So because I said it, we're going to start with that. History for my 9th grader this year. We used Mystery of History. It was my very first year using it. So I did get the companion guide, and we really ended up not using the companion guide at all. I basically used it to kind of see what kind of books we could read. I mean, it had like maps and things like that, but I'll tell you what we used for geography in just a minute. We used the Mystery of History, Volume 1, Creation to the Resurrection, and I'm going to tell you something. I learned a ton from this. It was so well done. And I really didn't think that it would hit. I knew it was very biblical based, and so if you're not into that, you would not like that at all. The pictures were super awesome. I mean, it hit on so much. Well, I thought that since it's biblical based, a lot of them do not hit on the kind of the other side of history. They only want to hit on the biblical side of history, which that's fine with me. But I kind of wanted it to hit on the other side as well, like introduce some of those, like Plato, Aristotle. I'm gonna butcher the names, but some of the Egyptian names as well. I would love to say their names, but I'm really afraid that I'm going to butcher them because the name I have in my mind may not be how you exactly pronounce it. But here's one, King Tut, Tutankhamun. So I really didn't know that it would hit on it. So at the same time I ordered this, I also picked up Story of the World. We have done Story of the World with my oldest years ago, and he loved it. And we would also get the companion guide with all of the coloring pictures and stuff. My oldest still will color or draw while I am reading and history. We do history together. I mean, my oldest, I do history with him, and I do history with my younger two, a completely different history. So, but it actually, in this book, it actually hit pretty much everything that it hit in this book. So halfway through the year, I was like, you know what, we're actually repeating a lot of these stories, and it was pretty much the same. So that's a really good one if you are not looking for like a Christian based, but it's a really good history. Story of the World, we've done it before. We've done it all 4 years. I highly recommend it. I love Story of the World. Their activity pages are awesome if your kids like to color. My kids like to color still, so Mystery of History was a huge win. We will be continuing on that with my son in 10th grade. I was so excited. It's actually a bigger book, and I will not be doing the companion guide again. And I thought about doing just the pages. I have not completely decided whether I'm going to do book 2. He's kind of thinking that maybe he wants to just color like some castles or draw some castles. So as far as continuing on with my 10th grader, this is what we were going to do for writing. Well, big bust. I don't know. I've tried this for a few years now. I honestly didn't even write in the book. We didn't even write in the book. It just was like, my son was like, I don't get it. Like, and I don't know. I know so many people, there's so many good videos, like over Leilani, Living with Eve, I believe is her channel name. She does these videos so awesome, and it makes it look like it's so doable. I'm just like, we're going to get in there, we're going to do it. And then I just feel like I'm stuck. Like, I don't know what it is. And I've gotten the other IEW, like where the teacher, and it's just my oldest, that is not the way his brain works. And so we had to go a completely different way. And I will show you what we got for writing for my oldest. Let me look in here, and you can see I'm so prepared. I ended up getting writing strands. It started off easy. I just got the big beginner. I just grabbed it from a Christian bookstore, and it's really going good. This is what he likes. We will not be continuing on with it next year, but it was like, it had a lot of a Bible woven into it. There's like a chapter of writing, a chapter of reading, which you also do some writing, kind of answering questions, writing some stuff. And it was just really good for this year. It was a win. I would honestly continue doing it. It's just that I decided to go a different route. And if you saw my curriculum, you know it's the Good and the Beautiful high school level 1 for 10th grade. And I just decided that we really needed some more stuff. Handwriting, I always have my kids do handwriting. Learning cursive in Narnia, he's pretty much done with this book. And his handwriting is really good. It's just that I don't really require my kids to write in cursive handwriting, doing all of the other things all the time. So I always have them have a handwriting just because I want them to keep fresh, and that's just something requirement. What we did this year for grammar for my oldest, so we did the writing strands, handwriting. We did Fix It Grammar Level 2. He really likes this book. The only thing I feel like if I got the Level 3, he would love it. But I feel like that the only thing I feel like it lacks is I really feel like it needs to be, I'm the old school, diagramming sentences. Diagramming sentences is so important. If you try, if you learn to diagram, you can actually diagram verses in the Bible and where it puts together like what word goes where. If you know how to diagram, you can diagram Bible verses. I know how to do that. My grandma taught me to do that. My grandma actually taught me how to diagram sentences very well, and I still to this day can diagram Bible verses correctly. So it's a very good skill, and that's something that Fix It Grammar, and I believe it's really good grammar. And what you do with Fix It Grammar, you're actually rewriting a story. Like fixing the mistakes, he's really good at picking out nouns, adverbs, adjectives, prepositions, all the things. Putting commas, he's really good at that. So I think it's really going to go good that he learned all this last couple of years where he can take it into the high school level 1, good and the beautiful, that he'll use for the last 3 years of high school. He'll do their 1, 2, and 3, and it's going to diagram and write papers. So that's why we're not going to use writing strands. And also I did get the teacher book which looks exactly the same, and it's really an inexpensive curriculum, and it's really good. I'm just old school diagram sentence girl. The other thing he did was explode the code. This was the last level. I know it's way below him, but I really like my kids to stay fresh on phonics and all this. He will not be doing this again, of course, next year. He will be in 10th grade, but I really think it was good. It just keeps it fresh, and that's what I like. So we threw that together to make that. And this was one of his electives that he did. It was the fallacy detective. We are actually planning to do masterbooks logic next year, but someone had posted that this was a really good one to do before or just in general, and he was able to do it by himself. I helped him through the first few chapters, and it was super good. It was just about like recognizing red herrings, appeal to the people, and we would have really good conversations. It was about 38 lessons, and we just kind of spread it out through the year, and that went really, really good. What else did he do? Oh yeah, math. Oh, math. That was the fun one. Math. Yep, I'll just show you. I don't think I have the student guide, so I'll just show you the teacher guide. Oh, yeah, that's all I have. And he did the Principle of Mathematics through masterbooks, pre-algebra. He needed a little bit more help on this. Anyway, we're not going to carry on with that. I kind of talked about that at the beginning of the video, and so we're working through this one, and it's going well. And of course, if you've already seen my curriculum haul, we're going to be doing Saxon Algebra 1 infused with geometry, so he will get caught up on math. So, sorry about that. All my kids are here, and they're asking lots of questions. My daughter is in this stage where she actually feels like she's like full, done with her food, done with her lunch. I have them all set up with lunch, watching a show, and all of that, having some free Friday time. And then all of a sudden, then she decides, you know what, I want it, even though she was going to like ask if she could give it to the dog. I'm like, no. But anyway, just put it in the refrigerator or throw it away. Anyway, this is something else he did, because this is something he was struggling with, was memorizing those times tables. So he did that, and I will say it's just good. It just did 1 or 2 a day. Okay. Let me think. If I think of anything else he did this year, I will let you know. Okay, I think I have 2 biology books, but I can't find them. Okay, for 9th grade, he did biology with masterbooks, and we did do the videos, and it's going really, really good. I really, really love science with masterbooks, at least for the older grades. I like it in the younger grades as well, but I feel like with the older grades, it's really, really good. I feel like the videos, he really enjoys the videos too. I don't know why my eye, it just keeps running. allergies. It is like almost 100 degrees here, and then high 90s. I'm fixing to have my oldest go out and mow the lawn. That is one thing he did. More this year, he actually did not just do our yard mowing. He was mowing other people's yard as well, and some for pay. So he kind of had that little side thing going. So that was really, really good for him. But yes, biology with masterbooks. I was going to talk about the videos. I did, the way it works is you have the videos for like 15 months or something. And me and my oldest, we kind of laugh about it because he's kind of like just this cool dad, funny, you know, it's just, it's funny. It kind of reminds us a little bit of my husband. So, and some of them were funny, some of them were very just good, and he did the lab as well. And we do not actually own a microscope. It's something I would like to purchase. The good Lord willing, I want to purchase a microscope so he can do his own labs and everything. But we did this biology through a microscope. It went with it, and we were able to watch the labs. I really would like to have it where he could do all the projects himself, at least by the 11th and 12th grade. I really think that's important, but this year it just wasn't in the cards for us to do that. But yeah, so we did biology with masterbooks. Alrighty, now moving on to, let's go with my third grader. He did Explode the Code. This was just the next book that he did. It's really good for them to work independent. It is below him, but I think it's really good for them to be able to grab something and work independently of me. And we love the Good and the Beautiful readers, and him and my fourth grader were sharing these readers, going back and forth, and they are just Good and the Beautiful readers. They read this one. They read, this is just something to kind of get their minds and brains going in the morning. They did this level 1. This was a level 2 reader. They also did, I believe there's another reader in here somewhere. Anyway, I don't know. They also both did, so pretty much I'm going to talk about my third and fourth grader together a little bit. So they each had their own Explode the Code. Oh my goodness. Oh, here's another one of those readers. This was level 2 as well. They are still working through this one. This was a level 2 shared reader that they were working through. Something I wanted to also add, that while my oldest was doing biology, while he would listen to the videos or while I would read, sometimes he would read the biology book and sometimes I read it. We still have about 1 more month left. He would actually draw pictures, and I really think, and then he would just kind of write a little bit about it. This is just a little bit of extra, and I just thought this was pretty cool. Like he would talk about, I guess the guy was talking about the second law of thermodynamics. And it said, the second law of thermodynamics states that systems do not spontaneously gain energy and become more complex. Instead, they lose energy and break down. I thought that was really cool. It was his idea. He would just do some kind of a drawing while I would read. And just a few of them. He loves to draw. And he just put little different quotes about it. Design demands a designer. Oh my goodness, sorry. So this was about, it was a bunch of cells. I was almost said clone cells. Holy Jesus. But it was actually a cell. And he labeled all the different parts of the cell. Then we have this one where he drew the tiger and lots of different, the ecology system. This one is another kind of cell. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, but he drew all the parts to it. And he drew DNA. I like this one. I will praise thee for I fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139, verse 14a. 50 trillion cells in 2 tablespoons. I thought this one was really neat. The info contained in the chromosomes of one human being, if typed out, would be enough books to fill the Grand Canyon 40 times. That is just mind-blowing. Anyway, it just goes on and on. When we talked about train rails expanding and contracting due to the weather. It was another one. And then, of course, the little bee. He drew a bee. Biology is the study of living things. And then he says, bees fly up to 15 miles per hour and may travel up to 5 miles from their hive. We only study dead things to understand living things. I thought that was really, I feel like that was a really big win this year. And I was really proud of him. That was just something extra that he would do. And so, and of course, we go over the periodic table of the elements. And I really enjoyed that a lot. All right, so for my 3rd and 4th grader this year, they did God's Design, Heaven and Earth, and it did really good. It went really good. They enjoyed, I will say, the universe the best. They did enjoy the universe the best. And this is the beginner book. We are really nearing the end now, but they really enjoy the coloring pages, the word searches. That's just what they like. And it's really, really colorful, and it's really, really good. So that was a big win for them for science. They both had a book. Then for history, because I was kind of on the fence, I didn't really know which way to go. So we did the master books. We did book 1. I really do feel like it was really below them, being for 3rd and 4th grade, but it was good. It was good. I don't want to repeat it again. I don't want to continue on, go to book 2 or book 3, but I felt like it was good enough. Like, they did a lot of word searches, a few coloring pages, just a lot of good stories. My kids they're at the end now, but they like coloring and doing word searches. They do. They don't tire of that. Then they both did level 3 language arts for living education, language lessons for living education, level 3. We will not be doing this again, but I feel like it was really, really good for both of them this year. For all the life things we went through, I felt like they did really, really good. The other thing they did this year was they did the math lessons for living education. And okay, this is what I found out about myself, is I love Charlotte Mason. I love the living education. I love the idea of a ton of literature books, getting books that correlate with the science that we are doing. But I found out about something about myself. As much as I love that, I stink at doing it. And so I found out it works better for me to buy a curriculum that has the literature books. Sorry about that. I found out that I do so much better if I kind of outsource that and like pay for it through the Good and the Beautiful, through Nightgrass, through whatever books, whatever place has those literature books. Because I found out I am really bad at getting to the library and being like, okay, because when we go to the library, I'm usually like, yeah, y'all go find a book, and of course they show me to make sure it's a good book, or I feel like it's a good book, a book I've read, a book I recommend, because we have to be careful about that nowadays. But yeah, they like to go and find books that they're interested in, and I like to go find books that I'm interested in. So when we go to the library, we're not thinking of, oh, let's get some stuff for the solar system. Let's get something for the history that we're doing to make it better. We just don't ever think of that, and I'm not really thinking of that either. So I can't blame them because I'm not good at that. I'm not leading by example in doing that. So I found out, so if you saw my curriculum haul already, super long, but it has a lot of books in there. And it has books that are already ready for us to read, dive into, go with our curriculum like this. They did really good reading. Readers from The Good and the Beautiful. We are reading the Little House series, but just something that goes along with our curriculum. I am really stink at that. And I know some parents, they are so good at that. Like, I see this all the time on Instagram. Like, they pull this, they pull that, and it goes with their curriculum. I am just not good at that. So as much as I love like I said, I love the idea of a Charlotte Mason style learning. I just really stink at doing the footwork to get the stuff. So all praises to The Good and the Beautiful for having all those things, and for having the books with the science, having the books with the history, having the books with the language arts, because we are going to utilize that next year. Big time. All right, and they also did the Practice Makes Perfect books. I highly recommend these. These are just kind of really hammering those. It makes it more of a spiral approach versus a mastery, which I've learned something else I don't like. I think my kids learn better with the spiral approach, not a mastery. Because if we're doing it over again until they get it, and we never come back to that concept, I think that's what really happened with my oldest. We were doing a mastery. It was really drilled into me that that was the best route to go, and I followed that, and I think it really wasn't good. So I really highly recommend these, to where you can sprinkle in these to make sure they remember those concepts, and we'll be doing some of these even during the summer. So yeah. And let's see, what else did we do? Oh yeah, handwriting. Handwriting was kind of a tear fest this year. Learning cursive with Charlotte's Web. We got a good bit into it, and it was just my 3rd grader and my 4th grader. They were just kind of feeling super emotional, and so I really figured we really just needed to do the basics. You know, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and sprinkle in that science and history, and let the good Lord sort it out, because it was kind of tough. Yeah, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it was a really, really tough year. I think we even started out doing a different handwriting, and then I bought these middle of the year, and it was just really, I was like, this is not worth it. I mean, I want y'all to learn cursive, obviously. It's a big deal to me for y'all to learn cursive, but it won't be the end of the world if we push it to next year. And I realized it was just causing stress that was not necessary. I mean, some things, like they're crying over their borrow and subtract and add and carry and their multiplication tables. Okay, we need to cry through that and get it done. Or maybe take a break today, or come back in an hour. We do that sometimes. That's always been really important for me. We need to get the math and English done. If we get nothing else done, we're getting that math and English done. Yeah, so we had some of that. Yeah, and we studied the maps a lot. We studied, this is one of my favorite things in the world. I don't know why, I love the fact that it scrunches, but of course I have to fold it. My oldest is like, because you're OCD. He's like, that's why I'm OCD, because you are. But yeah, it is a world map, and it is my absolute favorite. It is a Scrunch Map, and it is one of my favorite things in the world. I do not know why. I just love this thing, and like the kids can just literally toss it. It's not gonna tear it. It's awesome. We've had this thing, I feel like, for years. I don't know if we've had this particular one, but we've had one like it for years, and it is literally my favorite thing in the world. So yeah. Oh, mamas. We are nearing the end. Oh yeah. This is something else my son had to have for math. Calculator. Yep. Texas Instruments calculator. And all the rulers. I gave you my Erin Condren ruler because I never use it. So I gave you my Erin Condren ruler. We got him one of these graph rulers. Yeah, it was super fun. Yeah, we learned a lot. And then sometimes my kids would just, my oldest would just draw. He even started writing a comic book. I'm like, sure, I'll give you credit for writing a comic book. And I remember me and my sister used to like to write books, storybooks, love stories. So he had a sketchbook, he loves to draw. Yeah, I'm encouraging all that. And of course we did, what was I going to say? I guess that concludes everything. I bet this is a long video. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this is probably not your typical, we did this, it was amazing, and we did this and that, and oh, this and that. This is real. This is real life for us this year. I'm not going to paint a picture of what it wasn't. We had some really good days along with some struggles. And that's the way I told my oldest, this was not a bad year. It was not a ruined year. It was not, we're not failing. This is life. Life happens. And that's the thing. I used to think that, how do I change into the role of a homeschool mom to homeschool mom, back to mom again. And the truth is, I'm mom. I'm mom 24/7 to my kids. And if they struggle and they're having, of course I'm going to encourage them to persevere, push through it, because that's life sometimes. But if we need a day to just stop and regroup, then we take that day and we stop and regroup. But we are getting it all done. We have about a month left, and then I will let them do some math and some small things during the summer just to keep those focuses, so when we come back to the school table in September after Labor Day, that we won't have forgotten everything, because that's a hard thing to come back to the table and be like, oh, how do I borrow and subtract? How do I divide? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do these algebra problems? I totally forgot. Or these fractions and all of that. Yeah, no. Mama don't want you to forget that. But, yeah. So I hope this encourages someone who might be out there. Y'all are doing a great job. Wherever you are, if you're struggling, if you're not struggling, a big hug to you. I am sending you a virtual hug. You are doing a good job. I saw this the other day and it just made me cry. You are doing kingdom work, because those little souls that have been entrusted in your homeschool, in your home, and in your life, it is eternal. You are advancing Jesus' kingdom. Oh, and that Bible. That was what I forgot. Yes, what we did this year for Bible. My youngest two, I did not bring the book. My youngest two had a Bible devotional that goes with their language arts. We were reading that. Where is that book? Oh yeah, it's the 101 Bible Stories. It's an excellent book. It was really, really good. And then the other thing they did was, the Bible was throughout my oldest son's, ninth graders. We had this big, huge thing that we were going to do a Bible curriculum that I bought, and I learned pretty much from the get-go that it was not going to work. It was a Route 66 Bible curriculum. I still have it. I might use it. I don't know. I might try to sell it or give it away. I don't know. But what was I going to say? Writing strands. Oh yeah, the writing strands. It was really good. In the reading part, it would have you talk about Bible stories, Bible passages, the prodigal son, Genesis 3 in the garden in the beginning. So that was really good. So the Bible was really woven into that. But my younger two, they are just reading through the Bible. They are doing that on Wednesday night. And then during the week, they have Bible chapters that they have to do for homework. Nothing big, just reading through the book. Right now, they're reading through Job. Because at the end of this year, they are going to have read the entire Bible through. And I think that is awesome. So that is the number one thing this year, was that they just get this in their minds and hearts. So it just worked out really perfect that they were going to do that for Wednesday nights, because it was something that I already wanted them to do anyway, to kind of encourage them. And it's so good. Their teacher tells them, okay, and reads chapter so-and-so through so-and-so, 10 through 20 or 20 through 30 or whatever it is, this week, and then come back Wednesday night and have read all that. So it's going really good, and they're encouraged to do that. So I love the fact that their teacher is doing it. It's kind of like this little thing that has been outsourced to someone else to encourage them, and then I read it with them, or they listen to it, or they read it. I mean, I catch them with their Bibles open, my younger two, all the time. I love it so much. In the evenings, in the afternoon, when it's quiet time, I do, even though they are way past the nap stage, I do still be like, okay, we need a little bit of quiet, and it's not going to be video games. So you're going to go to your rooms and read, or just lay in your bed and be quiet. I don't really care, because Mama needs a minute, after school, after all this busy, my mind is fried, and there's,
needs a rest too. So I've learned it's not just me that needs a rest. They need a rest too. You know, their minds have been busy learning all this new information. I know all this information. I'm just basically, some of it, like my oldest, I'm just kind of relearning a little bit of it. I've already learned all of this. And so they are just learning a lot of it. And so they need a rest too. So sending virtual hugs to you all. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for sticking with me, those of you that stuck it out with me to the end. When I show curriculum videos coming real soon, my 10th grader, my 5th grader, my 4th graders, curriculum videos coming soon. I will also be doing a giveaway in each of those videos, so stay tuned for that. And a little side note, I've already added a piece of curriculum or two that'll be doing a small haul coming real soon. Yeah, that's what happens. That's one of the things that might happen if you order your curriculum as early as I did, that you're like, oh, I think we might need this too, or add this, or do this instead. That has happened already. So stay tuned for that curriculum haul and all of the individual grade levels along with the giveaways coming real soon. Y'all, I want to bless y'all because y'all are blessing me by tuning in and watching my videos. I love you all so much, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.